Uranium explosion. That's right, guys. We have a huge day in uranium today. As a matter of fact, this rally totally snuck up on me. I was so busy playing the S&P 500 and oil that I had completely missed this development in uranium. I literally just looked at this 10 minutes ago and noticed that UUUU had a near 13% upside day today. So this video will cover, of course, the three securities, UUUU, or the four U's, which is Energy Fuels Incorporated, URNM, which is the Sprott Uranium Miners ETF, and finally URA, which is our global X Uranium ETF. Now, the charts for all of these securities will, as usual, be attached in the description below, so look for the links down there. But this is a pretty nice blow off top we have here. We had a bit of an unexpected rally in the S&P 500 as well. I was actually expecting more of a pullback for our fourth wave, but we may already be done with it, or we may have a little lower to go. We might have a bit of a triangle situation forming in at least the futures view. This is the ES mini futures for the S&P 500. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that, again, what we're following, the four U's and the two ETFs, they are equities at the end of the day. So while the commodity, or while these things will correlate with the commodity, uranium itself, uranium futures, they have a mind of their own. The same applies to something like an XLE, which is the energy ETF, or even GDX, Gold Miners ETF. They have their own charts and patterns they follow, even though they roughly correlate with the underlying commodity asset, whatever that is. So here's what we have in our last update. We had in the 4U specifically, what looked like a very clean five-wave structure. This actually looks a lot like what we see in the Russell 2000 off of the May 12th, or I'm sorry, the May 20th bottom. Actually, this was the May 12th bottom in Russell, but for 4Us, you can clearly see the purple count here, 5 waves up. So that would be a larger first wave, which I'm actually going to draw here to give us some more visualization. So we got our 1, and then this was our 2, and we may already have most of our third wave ready to go. I'm going to put that up there, put our fourth wave down here, and our fifth wave, I'm just going to move up there. So we'll look at that in just a second. But so far, we have a corrective pullback, clearly a zigzag ABC pattern for our second wave. And I'm actually going to recolor and do this thing just so it gives us the higher degree. And I'm going to recolor it so you guys know that's the same pattern. And I'm probably not going to do the same thing for the other two, but they're all following the same pattern. So you got our 1, 2, and then we clearly have another 1, 2 nested setup, and then possibly another 1, 2 nested setup here. And we have probably finished the third wave of our third wave. That's about where the 1.0 extension is, $7.39. And therefore, after a bit of a consolidation, we may actually see this thing get up past $8 to about $8.40. I'm going to target a little bit lower, probably towards the $8 range for the third wave top. So I'm going to move this down a little bit and then expect another consolidation, maybe shallow because of the shift in sentiment. And if we can get our fifth wave up around 864 to 903, that will be a completed 5-wave rally. So that would be a very good sign that our bottom is in. We'd expect a 3-wave pullback to finish off our downside. So it would look something like this. So maybe not sure how deep it would be, but something like that. So I'm actually going to color that purple as well, just so you guys are aware, and see if I can match up the degree. Was it intermediate or primary? I already forgot what I put on there. I guess primary. Okay. So that's what we're looking at in the 4Us. We've already broken through our pivot zone, which would be the 0.618 to 0.764 extension. Now moving on to the other two securities, the action is similar. I know that it was a little bit more ambiguous in these two, because here we had the low was actually a little bit earlier for uranium, or UUUU, energy fuels, and well, we had a lower low, so we weren't sure. It's not as clear of a 5 up, but this is convincing enough. That's 3 up, 4, 5. Sometimes the 1, 2 happens so quickly or overnight you can't really see it on the chart. So either way, this too is following a pretty nice pattern. I'm actually going to put the count on this one too, just for clarity here. So that was our base. That's the first wave. Second wave bottom here, clear zigzag down. This is already showing that we may already have our third wave in place. So our support would be somewhere in this range, and our fifth wave top would be about here. So let me move this thing down just to give us clarity. So we actually have enough upside for this to be 3 waves complete. Again, 1, 2, the third wave got past our 1.32 extension, which would be, that's about where your third wave is expected to hit, between that and the 1.618. Expect a fourth wave consolidation that could take us somewhere between $71 and $69, and a final fifth wave top around $78.86 to $81. So that would be where we'd expect our fifth wave to get us. And just like with the 4Us, expect a corrective pullback to get us well on our way. And finally, the pattern is the same here. I'm going to draw it here as well, just so you guys will see, have clear visibility in what the pattern looks like. I guess the top is going to be about here, second wave here, third wave. So we're not quite as far along here as we are with the other ETF, but getting closer. So this would be up here and this would be about here. So we may be complete the third wave. I would ideally like to see a little bit of a squeeze higher to get closer to $24, 24 even, before we have a fourth wave consolidation. And then we may be off. So again, these are two different ETFs. Sometimes some of them run ahead of others. If I recall correctly, I believe it was URA that was running ahead back a few months ago when we were looking at potential for some big time upside. So again, they all do their own thing. Take each chart on its own, even though all three of them do correlate pretty closely. So that's what we're looking at. Very bullish development here. But again, we only have 3 waves up. So this is exactly what you want to see to confirm that a bottom is in place. But we still need our 5th wave up. The same goes for our equities. So again, ES mini futures and the Dow. I don't know why I just did that. That was kind of a silly thing to do. I'm just going to put on the DJI view here. So again, we have clearly 1, 2, 3 waves. And we may or may not be done with our 4th wave. So we may swing back down for a lower low to complete our C wave of our 4th wave, or we're done. We're off to the races. This could be a 1, 2 with us about to blast off in the final 5th wave up. If that happens, that would be a very, very, very strong confirmation that that really was the bottom and that it's in. So shifting to our big picture view, I'm going to start with the 4Us just as usual. I haven't changed anything on the chart because nothing has changed yet. We haven't broken any supports, or we haven't passed any resistances, anything like that. So we're still looking for a bit more confirmation here. You can clearly see that we have our 1, 2, and we're probably in the middle of a 3rd wave. Our MACD is curling back up. So again, while it would have been ideal to see us dip into this box around the $4 mark, doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get it. And the truth is, at least in the 4Us, this looks pretty textbook standard in terms of flat corrections. We had our A wave that took a clear 3-wave pattern, ABC, and an ABC for our B wave, and impulsive looking enough to me. If we look at this on the closer picture chart, you could count it a number of different ways. I'm going to expand this out to the 15-minute interval. So I'm sure you can count a 4th wave in here. I think that's convincing enough. Maybe that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. That looks impulsive enough to me, if you ask me. So I'm not going to look at the other two, but this is convincingly a completed impulse. Again, there's still a chance that this is a small 4th wave with 1 spike lower to go. But if we get a 5-wave pattern up, as we were just talking about on the small picture chart, that's it for the downside. So it may be time to buy sooner than we may have thought. Kind of snuck up on us. I'm probably going to have my alternate pattern here pretty soon. As a matter of fact, I'll do it right now. So our alternate pattern is that this was the low. And I'm going to color this green just so you guys know that that could be the bottom that's in, and we'll copy and paste that into the other 2 charts as well. So when we look at our URNM chart, same kind of thing. This looks even more impressive here. And that's our alternate bottom right there that we're already done. And here too, you got your 3-wave A wave, ugly choppy B wave, and presumably a completed C wave. And again, textbook standard, because our C wave did go a bit lower than our A wave did. So that is also somewhat convincing. We didn't quite make the 1-to-1, but again, by basic Elliott wave textbook rules, we did what we need to do in URNM, and in URA. This looks actually even more impressive on the chart. Look at that spike. We've almost invalidated this entire thing. Well, validated the additional downside we were looking for. So that would be the bottom. I'm going to take that 5 off because that's kind of lacking context here, but that is the alternate bottom for this chart. So that's all fun and nice and dandy. What are we expecting next? Again, let's look for that 5th wave up. So don't rush into things just yet. If we get our final 5th wave rally, and then we have our corrective pullback, as I was showing in UUUU, which is looking really messy at the moment. Apologies for that. I'm going to move these things over. That would be a larger degree 2nd wave, and that would be your time to buy. We would finally confirm that we are ready to go once we get past the high again. So we're going to fill in those details as we get a little bit more of the structure to unfold so we can have better, more confident targets. Remember, this is going to be well, it's going to be a hell of a rally. Once first of all, if I project off of the top I'm projecting here, let us actually already have a number already here. So if I take a 50% retrace off of about $2, that tells us that our third wave could get up to 1248 to 1341 with an ultimate top between $14 and $15. So that would be pretty darn impressive, but that is the linear chart. This is the logarithmic chart. We could have an even more impressive rally depending on how things unfold. We have our third wave targeting as high as $15 to $17, $18 with a final top in the $20 to $22 range. Again, based on having our initial 5-wave impulse top out wherever I have that number about between upper $8 to lower $9 range. So that's UUUU. Again, that could be a very good options play. I'm going to have plenty of details on what kind of plays they're going to be. I'm definitely going to be looking to pull one off myself. And again, 5th wave extensions are common in commodities, or if it's not a 5th wave, we may go higher than we're expecting in this first wave. So we're not going to know that for a little while. We go to the URNM chart. Again, we're projecting about the same kind of thing. This is still very much in the cards. The rally top here is projecting. Again, let's see here. I didn't put the bigger chart on there, but I'm going to put a bigger fib extension here just for you guys to be able to see where we're projecting. So let's say we get the 2.0 with about a 50% retrace. We're looking for about $102 to $108 for the third wave top, $112 to $117 for the 5th wave top. And finally, for URA, oops, I just messed that up. All right, we go. So we have our first wave top around $25. I think I clicked the wrong symbol. I'm going to delete that. And my computer is really struggling with this. Come on, TradingView. Don't do this to me. There we go. So base is here, 5th wave. I think I just clicked the wrong tool again. Let me try this way. All right, from here, 2572, 50% retrace. Again, a rough estimate. $32 to $34 for the third wave top, 34 to about 36 plus for the larger 5th wave top. So there you have it, guys. We have some confluences there with what we're seeing in the purple box overhead. So a lot of excitement ahead. Subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming updates. We're going to see if the stock market can turn things around as well. Right now, it's looking like it will. Give me a like if you enjoy my video. Until next time, thank you for watching and happy trading.